So as usual, the full set has just leaked. I'll be going over it in today's video. I do want your feedback. What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So honestly, we got way more cards than anyone expected. We're getting over 200 cards from this set. I'm super excited for it. And the way the leakers have revealed all these is just pages of each type. So I'll just be scrolling through and we'll go over. But the most important ones, some of these don't matter, like Shuckle, Lady, and Roselia. I mean, they're not gonna, no one's gonna ever play them. You're never gonna see them. But you can read through them if you want to pause the video. But we have a new Rose Raid, 90 damage, 50. We have a new Rose Raid, 90 HP, 50 damage, and you poison your opponent's active and then they can't retreat. So I'm not sure about that. We got a Cacturn, 3 energy, 60 damage, and if your opponent's Pokemon has damage on it, it does 60 more. So 120 for 3, and it's a stage 1 with 120 HP, and if you have Leaf Cape on it, it has 150. That's actually not that bad. That could be somewhat usable. We have a Chestnut, 160 HP, 4 energy, 80 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, it does 80 more to the attacking Pokemon. Oh, imagine, well, it does cost 4, so that's quite expensive, but I guess you can run like Leafeon to generate the energy really quick. It just has defense on itself, and say you put a Rocky Helmet on itself too, it's doing 100 damage back when they attack into it. Plus, it's a stage 2, so Lily works on it, Erica works on it, Leaf Cape works on it. This might actually be super fun and really toxic to play with. I'm excited for this one, for sure. It's probably the most exciting one we've seen yet. We do have a Spoopa. Put a random card that evolves from your deck into your hand. So you'll put Vivillon into your hand, and then this poisons and puts him to sleep for 2 energy with 130 HP. That's not that bad either. The sleep is really nice, and the poison, so I guess you're doing 70 damage. That's actually not terrible. We have a new Buzzwole. If your opponent has gotten exactly 1 point, it does 40 more damage. It's only usable if they have 1 point, but it will be able to shut down Oricorio because it does 80, so that's interesting. We have the new Teal Mask, which I've talked about before. I guess Elder Grocer should talk about this too. You may shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck after you attack. What? It just runs away? Okay, interesting. Teal Mask removes status conditions if you have energy, and 2 energy can do 120 if there's 5 total between you and your opponent's active. Interesting card. Let's move on to the next type. We have a new Alolan Marowak, 2 energy, does 40 and burns them. We have a we got our first Reshiram. I don't think we have this in the game yet. 110 discards 2. Maybe. I mean, probably not for 3 energy. Probably not. We have an Oricorio, which makes your attacks do plus 20 the next turn, so it's like a red if you use it. I'm not sure if that's worth taking. Our decks are getting pretty full at this point in the game. You got to realize we have so many strong cards. A card really needs to stand out for you to make room for one of it in our deck. Oh, I forgot I can scroll over. No, I can't really that far. Pyroar is 2 for 70. An EX that we haven't seen yet, and I really want to talk about how good I think it's going to be, and I think it's going to be great. This might be a bad call, but let me lay it out for you. It's a basic first off, so it doesn't take up much room in your deck. It has a 1 energy attack that burns them, which is decent, right? I mean, maybe if you start with it, you can get an attack off before you retreat. It knows Pop Punk, 3 energy. You discard 3, which is actually a pretty harsh downside, but it does 140 damage. The reason I'm saying it might be decent is because it's an Ultra Beast. And Ultra Beasts have a couple support cards. The first one is Celesteela, allowing you to swap into a benched Ultra Beast. I don't know if you're going to run it with Blacephalon, but we also have Beast Type, which gives your Ultra Beast plus 10 for each point you have. And this is going to be constant as long as this tool is attached. That means Blacephalon, if you have 2 points, it's going to come out and be able to do 160 damage for 3 energy. And if you use red, that's up to 180 damage. Plus, Lusamine, if your opponent has 1 point, you can bring back 2 random discarded energies. So that means if you bring this out late in the game, you're going to be able to instantly use Lusamine, bring back 2 energy, and then attack with Pop Punk immediately. It's immediately online. Or you can use Flame Patch with it too. You can run it with Entei. Honestly, I think it's a really solid card, and it might be a one-of in a couple fire decks. I want to see what people try with it. We have Cinderace. Doesn't really do much. 2 energy, 120 damage, and it stops itself from attacking. We have better options in terms of, we have a lot of these fire types that are 2 energy, 120 damage ish. We have a Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon. I think we're getting all the Ogerpons. 40 damage, and then if you flip heads, you can attach 2 energy to your bench. Wait, it generates 2 energy? You have to use 2 to generate 2, but that might be interesting. You do have to flip heads, so it's going to require a will. I want to see what people do with that. I don't know if it's worth it. I'm not sure. Maybe. If you can guarantee 2 energy and then bring 2 back with Flame Patch, then you instantly have 4 energy. I guess you would have instantly have a Charizard up after you attacked with this once. I don't know. Let me know what you think of that one. I'll definitely cook up my own ways to play these cards. Next up, we have an Alolan Ninetales. Beautiful card. I don't know if you guys know this, but in one of the last sets, we actually received an Alolan Vulpix that can generate an energy for itself. It costs 1 to use, but then it generates 1 more, which is really nice. So if you go second, the next turn you have Ninetales up, and you can put that extra energy on your bench, because Ninetales only costs 2 energy to attack for 80, and it says during your opponent's next turn, they can't take any energy from their energy zone and attach it to their active. So that means you lock their active out from attaching any energy, and then that means if they don't have an X speed or a leaf, they can't retreat. Plus, it's a water type, so you can use this with Greninja. So Greninja taps their bench, use Cyrus, you drag out their Mega, and then you lock them down with Ninetales. They can't retreat because they can't place energy on it, and you insta-win the game. So a Ninetales control deck, I can easily see that in my future. That might be a really spicy combo. We do have a Mr. Rhyme. Flip 3 coins to 60 damage for each heads, but it costs 3 energy. We have a new Delibird. Delibird's always fun. Flip a coin. If heads, it does 70 damage to your opponent's active. If tails, heal 30 damage from your opponent's active. You can heal your opponent. Okay, that's just a fun card. We have a Swampert line. We have 2 of them here. The first one is just an Oricorio out, 100 damage, and discards 1 random energy from all across both opponent and yourself. And then we have a Mega Swampert. 230 HP is actually really good. That's really good. And that means, I guess if you have a heavy helmet, no, you'd still die. You would still die to Charizard. But you can throw heavy helmet on him. He has 3 retreat costs, making him even beefier. And for 3 energy, you do 150 damage, discard 2 energy among all energy attached to Pokemon. So it's just completely random. You could accidentally discard 2 from your own Swampert, or you could discard 2 from them, or 1/1. So this is actually a bit RNG. But I do think this card is going to be pretty good because it works with Lily, it works with Heavy Helmet, so it's very, very beefy, tanky. You have Mantike, you have Irida too. You could even run, what's that bird that you can attack and transfer 2 energy to the bench? You could probably run that with this too. You could run Jellicent. There's a lot of options to get Swampert going pretty easily. It works with Suicune too. You just start with Suicune, then draw into this right away, and then draw into your healing too, and then Swampert just hopefully like sweeps the rest of the game. I think this actually has a lot of potential here, so I'm excited to try out Swampert too. And we have a new Vanillix. It's a Sweets Relay card. We're getting another Sweets Relay, which is pretty awesome. If one of your Pokemon uses Sweets Relay during your last turn, this attack does 60 more damage, and it has 140 HP. The only problem, it's a water. I guess, no, that's not a problem really, because the other ones are colorless. Yeah, you just can't run it with that Psychic one. Damn, okay, wait, 120 damage. And if you go second, you can use this during your second turn. Oh my gosh, wait. We have Cherubi, which allows you to attack for no energy. So say you go first, you attack for 0 energy, and then that triggers Vanillix, and you're attacking for 120 right away. Wow, you know what? I like that. That's actually pretty solid. Cryo actually stops your opponent from playing any item cards from their hand. You lock them out of items with that. That's interesting. We have Aurorus, discard 2 water energy. Your opponent's active is now paralyzed. No, it's not worth it. And let's see what else. 30 damage to one of your opponents benched with Cramorant. Wait, tagging their bench. That's pretty much a Jirachi for water types. Whoa, okay, that's cool too. This set, I can already tell, is going to be a meta-defining set. Flip a coin. This attack does 40 more to each of your opponents benched. With Ogerpon, you can hit their whole bench for 40. That's interesting. All right, are they all coin flips? We have a Pichu that does 30, which is nice because it takes out babies. Remember that? Babies all have 30 HP. We got an Alolan Raichu, 110 HP. If a stadium is in play, oh, we got a stadium-dependent card. It has no retreat cost. Ooh, Alolan Raichu. I wonder what stadium you play that with. Stadiums I'm going to be showing at the very end. Thunder Spear, 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So you're going to do that to their bench potentially. And then we have a Zapdos. Oh, that's not good. It chooses 1 Pokemon at random and does 100 damage. And it can hit yours too now. All right. Oh, we got a Toxtricity. 3 energy, 90 damage. And it also does 30 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has damage on it. You might want to pair that with Raichu, right? But the only problem is... no, I don't even know if you'd pair it with Raichu. What would you pair this with? Spirit Tomb, I guess, to damage all their bench? I don't think this is too amazing. It only does 90. That's not really very... And you already have to have... If it did damage and they didn't need to already have damage on them, it would be good. Like if it hit their whole bench of 30, it would be pretty good. You could run it with the other Raichu. We have another Raichu that hits the bench. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you can think of anything you can run this with. All right, so let's move on to the next type. We have Psychics, which are getting a massive buff with a couple of these cards. We have a Galarian Rapidash. You have 5 or more Psychic Energy in play. It does 60 more damage. 5 or more, you could probably get that going with Mega Gardevoir, and then you're going to do 100 damage for 1 energy, but it's not technically 1 because you do need 5 on board. And we got a new Ralts, confuses them with Curlia too. And a new Gardevoir that can actually take 2 energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your bench Psychic. Wait, we also got a basic Gardevoir too. That's cool. That could actually work for countering Oricorio maybe. And then the Mega Gardevoir is just absolutely disgusting. Putting 3 energy on your bench is insane. We got a new Chandelier line. Does 20 damage for each supporter card in your discard pile. Oh, we finally got something that plays off of discards. I was wondering when we would get something like this. So if you send this out late in the game, I mean, it's pretty easy to get rid of supporters. You're probably going to have 2 professors going, maybe a copycat going by the time you get this out. So that's going to be 100 damage. Potentially, I mean, most of the time, I think by the time you get this out, you're going to use 3 supporters. So 120 damage for 2 energy is pretty good. I'll take that. That's not bad at all. We got Melodia. I don't think I'm saying that right, but it adds 1 Psychic from your deck to your hand. Remember, we have that Psychic Stadium too, so all your Psychics can retreat for no energy cost. I could see you playing Chandelier and Meloda. I'm so sorry about butchering that. And then just drawing your Chandelier line really quick, using supporters, thinning out your deck. That could be awesome. All right, we have Gourgeist, 70 damage and discard a card from your hand. Mimikyu, we already talked about this in the trailer. It can block damage once when it comes out. Not out like into the active zone. I mean, like when you play it, it can only block damage 1 time and you can't reset it. We have a Poltergeist. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve 1 of your Pokemon. Wait a second, this is mean. This is really mean. You may have your opponent shuffle their hand into their deck. For each remaining point that your opponent needs to win, they draw a card. What? So say it's at the very end of the game, it's just going to be a Mars. It's like a Mars. It's a Mars. That's what it is. That's hilarious. Okay, in the form of a Pokemon. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's still really funny. We got Indeedee, does 70 damage to 1 of your opponent's bench Pokemon for 3. All right, we got some new fighting. I hope we got some fighting support because so far fighting suck right now. We got a new Machamp. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck, 80 damage, 2 energy. It could be decent. We have, I guess it'll do 100 if you have Lucario. Maybe we could play that. I think we could play that. It's possible. We have a Medicham. If this Pokemon has any Psychic Energy attached, it does 50 more damage. So do 100 for 2. That could, I'm not sold on that. Oh, here is a new Fighting EX. 4 energy, does 140 damage to 1 of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you can't attack the next turn with it. That is terrible. I mean, even though you can target who you want to hit with that, it's 4 energy, and Fighting does not have a ramper, so it's going to take forever to get him up. He's also stage 2, so it takes a while to get him. Heavy Helmet works on him, and you can Lily him too, but it's just still way too slow. Because this type just doesn't have a ramper, and it's terrible. Anything that costs more than like 2 energies just feels way too expensive. And it's only 140 damage. It's not like 180. 180 would be nice because you could one-shot a Mega, but this just seems really bad to me. We got a Tyrantrum, 150 damage and 3 energy, 100 plus. If you have fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, it does 80 more damage. Wait, that could be insane. With red, you're doing 200 damage, as long as this is the only one that you control. And 150 HP is really good. Oh my god, wait, this is nuts. But it's a fossil. It's a fossil. I guess you play it in a fossil deck with Rampardos, and then you just discard your other fossils when it comes out, so you're able to do 180. 200. You could do 200 damage for 3 energy. That's insane. But this might be a new fossil meta. I think you might play Passimian with this. Passimian EX with this. Yo, now it is held back by the fact that it is a fossil, and it takes a while to draw fossils. Plus it's 3 energy, but still... that is massive damage. I really want to try that. Flip a coin if heads your opponent during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes minus 100 from attacks. Wow. And then Phalanx we talked about in the trailer. We have, what do we have here? A new Persian. No, not amazing. A new Muck. Basic Pokemon in play. Both yours and your opponent's. I actually can't read this. I don't know what this says. It's too blurry. I'm sorry, guys. Can anyone read this? Have a something. I don't know what that says. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm sorry guys. We know about the Gooner. He does 70. Why is this one so blurry? Oh my gosh. Maybe because it's a black background? I don't know. This is one where your opponent has to flip a coin. If they flip tails, the attack doesn't go through. We got a new Spirit Tomb. If it's knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, do 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Wow. Oh, it's a new version of Spirit Tomb. It's a Power Crept Spirit Tomb. If it dies, its final scream releases a ton of energy. Bam, 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 hits everything for 10. You could run this with that electric type we talked about earlier, tagging everything your opponent has. So your opponent's not going to want to destroy this, because as soon as they do, it marks their whole bench. And then that the Toxivire, I think that's what it's called. I don't know where it is here. Right here. This would be active and you're able to hit their whole bench. We have a Scrafty, 50 damage. If this Pokemon has more energy attached than your opponent's, it does 50 more, which is probably not going to happen that often. Not worth it. Discards a random energy from active Pokemon from both. So you're going to discard from your opponent too with this guy. This could be decent. A new Guzzlord, flip a coin. And if heads, discard your opponent's active. That's so funny. You just get rid of them. You say no. All right, we got a new Meowth line. This says once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may discard 2 random tool cards from your discard pile into your hand. Oh, put 2. I read that wrong. It puts 2 tool cards back. There gotta be something that this works with. For some reason you would want to do this. What uses tools that is really effective? Let me know in the comments. I can't think right now. I'm gonna go through this video. I'll make a detailed guide in the future. Mawile, we know what that does. I don't think Mawile is gonna be very good, to be honest. Flip a coin, you do 60 more. Stunfisk, if this Pokemon in the active spot, when your opponent's Pokemon retreats, it does 40 more to the new active one. Okay, it's like a trap. That makes sense. Wait, did we get a new Slash line? We did. 3 energy, 80 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, it takes minus 80 from attacks from your opponent's EX. It's here to counter EX Pokemon. Oh, okay, that could be interesting. Unfortunately, Metal doesn't really have a great ramper. I guess you could run it with like Dialga or something potentially. We got a Salamence. Ooh, a fan favorite. I hope they didn't do him dirty. 3 energy, water, and fire, which is fine. You could actually probably run this with Ho-Oh. Oh God, what? Why does it have a downside? I guess 3 for 150 is just too good. Flip a coin. If tails, it does 50 damage to itself. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think you need to do that, did you? You didn't need to do that. It's already a dual energy stage 2. It didn't need a downside. Why do they hate dragons so much? Is it because it has no weakness? They feel like they need to give it a big downside? I'm not sold on that either, just because of that. It's so annoying. This Meowth can potentially prevent damage if you flip heads. We got a Mega Kangaskhan. It does 80 damage for 3. It is colorless, so remember that. 180 HP is okay, but 80 damage for 3 is not bad being a colorless, and it attacks twice in a row. The second attack does 40 more, so it's actually 120 damage for 3 energy. Now that is much better. And it says if the first attack knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon, the second attack is used after your opponent selects a new active. So as soon as they bring that other one out, if you knock them out, the 40 is going to be transferred onto them. That is super interesting. Also, I'm realizing since it attacks twice, Rocky Helmet is going to do 40 damage to Kangaskhan. So Rocky Helmet is probably going to be your nemesis. You might need to run Guzma, but Irida works on this. Ilima works on this, so you can just retreat it out. Any baby Ramper works on this too, so you can play it with Oricorio if you wanted to. I think this is going to have a spot somewhere. You were going to be able to cook up a deck with this pretty easily. Next up, we have a Smeargle with an ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may look at a random supporter from your opponent's hand. Use the effect of that card as the effect of this ability. What? It's just a Gamba card, and you can use this from your bench too. That's so funny. I don't know if it's going to be meta, but you're going to have some crazy interactions with that. We have a new Swellow with an ability. Once during your turn, you may switch out your opponent's active to the bench. Oh, so it's just the same as the old stage 2 Pidgeot that we have. It's just a constant Sabrina. Cool. We have a Slacking. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever you attach an energy from your energy zone to it, it's now asleep. It's lore accurate. And 150 damage for 3 energy is actually not terrible, but the fact that it puts itself to sleep kind of sucks, but we can easily get around that. We have Pokemon now that remove status conditions, so it shouldn't be that hard, especially since it's colorless. It does discard from itself, but it only discards 1. It's not terrible. I think we can make this work for sure. Tornadoes can do 2 for 80 if you have a stadium in play, so that can counter Oricorio because it's a basic 2, so that's actually might become a tech that people start running. This does 50 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. No. Really? 70 and does... It's probably 10. I feel like it's not 50. Even if it's 10, why? Why do you need to do damage to each of my own bench Pokemon? This is terrible. Oh, we got Fur. Takes minus 20 from attacks. And 3 for 70. I'd rather run the other Fur. Put 3 random cards among blank and blank from your deck onto your bench. Whoa, 3 cards. That's a huge searcher. If you go second with this, yo, okay. Cool. And then this does 60 for each blank or blank you have in play. Does 60 damage for each heads. 3 random cards from your deck onto your bench. 3. How are you going to do 3 though? All right, next up, these are all the shinies that we have. We're getting, if you guys are into any of these, that's cool. We got new shiny variants of probably some of your favorite Pokemon. That's nice. Oh, we got Lugia too. Next up, this is all the cool art that we have. Ooh, so, wait, these are nice. I wish I had a better quality to show you. We got a Reshiram art. That's awesome. And here we go. The rainbows look pretty good. Blissfelion rainbow, Ninetales rainbow, Swampert rainbow. Ooh, Aurorus looks really good too. Cramorant's eating Pikachu. Yo. Toxtricity. I think this is one of the coolest Pokemon that I've seen in a while. I don't know about that art though, but it's a cool Pokemon. Gardevoir. What's the Gardevoir? We got a Gardevoir immersive. We got an immersive Gardevoir. Melota. We got a crown version of it. Look at Mimikyu over there. And oh my gosh, Gigalith. You have such a cool rainbow art that I kind of hate that you suck. Tyrantrum. Oh, I'm glad we got a 1-star for that because that's gonna be pretty strong. And I still can't tell what this muck does, honestly. I can't tell. I'm sorry. What else do we got here? We have a Mega Mawile rainbow, an immersive Meowth. We got immersive Meowth. Why do we get immersive Meowth? Okay. The Kangaskhan is aura farming right here down at the bottom. Nice. All right, we got some cool ones. Now let's look at the stadiums. This is what I think a lot of people are excited for. And we have items. Obviously, we have the 2 new fossils. And we have Lucky Ice Pop. Heal 20 damage from your active. If you healed any damage this way, flip a coin. If heads, get this Lucky Ice Pop into your hand instead of the discard pile. So it's like a potion that you could potentially reuse. No one's going to use potions anymore. Potions are... Well, actually, that's not true. This only affects the active. Potions you can use on bench Pokemon. So they are a bit different. It's up to your circumstances, I guess. We have Protected Poncho. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon on your bench, prevent all damage done to that Pokemon from attacks and abilities. So that stops Greninja. Greninja is officially... We finally have kind of a way to counter it with this tool. As long as the tool's on, you're safe from being sniped. I think you're going to run one of this in your deck because if you want to build your bench and you're playing against Greninja, all you need is one of these. You slap it onto that and then they can't target it anymore. And that just gives you a lot of peace of mind, pretty much. We have Metal Core, which means your metal Pokemon take minus 50 damage from attacks, which is pretty cool. We're going to use that for sure. We're going to actually revisit a lot of decks with this. I think this is going to help a lot, especially like Skarm EX. Imagine that. This heals Psychics by 90 and discards 2 energy. That's like solely made for Gardevoir, it seems like, and maybe Giratina. We have Sightseer. Look at the top 4. Select stage 1s. So this is a good stage 1 card. Juggler. So this says you can use this card only if your Pokemon in play have 3 or more different types of energy attached. And you're going to move all energy from each of your bench Pokemon to your active. So this is very, very situational. I don't think many decks are going to run this at all. You probably use it with like Ho-Oh. I don't think this is a very good card, honestly. I don't think we're going to see it that much. Piers is toxic, discard 2 energy. But here's the new stadiums. We got 3 stadiums, actually. The first one here is Training Area. Attacks used by your stage 1 Pokemon in play do plus 10 damage to your opponent's active. So that's good for Jolteon. That's immediately what I think of. You're going to play Jolteon maybe with Sightseer and Training Area. That's probably going to help it out a bit. just any stage 1. I think it's going to be good if Altaria too, because Altaria is a stage 1 and right now it can do 130 damage, but if you have training area it's going to do 140, which is pretty nice. I like that. We're gonna have to look at what other decks we can play from the new cards that are stage 1s. We have starting planes. Each basic Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponents get plus 20 HP. Oh my gosh, wait, what? Basics get plus 20? So that means Suicune's gonna get plus 20 HP, Absol's gonna get plus 20 HP. It's like a cape pretty much, but you can stack it on top of your cape. Now, you can get rid of it pretty easily. If your opponent just plays a stadium, then it gets removed, right? But yeah, this is a good stadium for basic decks. You're gonna want to run stadiums anyhow, because I guarantee Gardevoir is gonna be everywhere running this Plaza card, and you don't want your opponent to keep Plaza up. So it's good to run a stadium just to play so you can discard their Plaza. So I think any deck that has a basic as a win condition is gonna be running starting planes. We also got a Crown Poncho, which is cool. I think people are gonna be using that too for Greninja and Absol and all those other cards. But I think that's it for this whole set. This set is meta changing with all these different stadiums, items, supporters are going to be pretty good. Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited for this. This is one of the most hyped sets, in my opinion, in a long time. I think this is going to be super cool. I cannot wait. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.